Howdy. Today we're looking at the Ack and Brunt Incarnon. I can't remember if I did a video on this. I don't think I did. I'm pretty sure I was planning to when I first got it several months back, but I don't think I ended up doing it because the weapon was just so bad that I didn't think it worth making a video on. Like, it was bad. Like, really freaking bad. I'm sure there are people that are gonna be upset with me saying that. They're gonna try to say that's a great weapon. And I mean, I guess it exists. The only real reason it wasn't worthless beforehand is because it's got decent stats due to being in Karnon, and it's a sword and shield, which have decent stances, decent multipliers, and you can do okay damage with them. Except, why not just use a different sword and shield? The Incarnon gimmick of Brunt was worthless. It just didn't do enough damage. So if you don't know, Brunt's Incarnon form makes it so that aerial attacks and slide attacks throw out a spectral axe. Kind of like Exodia Contagion on Zaws, very similar. But unlike Exodia Contagion, it's just any attack will end air or a slide attack will do it. And the damage it does is very little. It has heat damage at base. It's mediocre, but it's better than it was before, and that's why we're here. So you can see you get melee damage, which that 100%, just like all the other Incarnate weapons, that's additive towards, or with like pressure point and stuff. Then you get sprint speed, park velocity. Now, for the first real evolution, we have two different options: Shield Maiden's Rush and Templar's Wrath. Honestly, they're both extremely mediocre. It literally doesn't even matter which one you go with. Then in the second real evolution, third evolution, I guess technically, evolution 3, you can go for Orc and Reach for more range, Abiding Hold so it pauses the combo timer when you holster your weapon, or Swift Break for heavy attack windup speed. Depending on what you do, I would go either Swift Break or Orc and Reach. Abiding Hold is okay, I guess, but I prefer the other two. And for this build, I'm using Orc and Reach for the extra range. Now we've got the last one, Evolution 4. Rogue Readiness. Pretend this doesn't exist, it's terrible. Absolute Valor for 17 base crit chance, or Versatile Creed for 9 base crit chance and 9 base status chance. This gives 1% higher total value, and also it helps fix the fact that the base status is horrible. It's only 10%, so this brings up to 19, nearly doubling it, while also giving you better crit. So I would recommend going Versatile Creed for sure. Now, with all of that active, the stats are still not incredible, as you can see. I mean, they're not worthless, but they could be better. It is still Sword and Shield, though, with not the worst stats in the game, and what we want to use it for is the Incarnon Throne gimmick, because that's what makes it so funny. So hang on, actually before I show the build, I want to show the gimmick so that you can see what it looks like. You do obviously have to get the Incarnate mode activated, so 6 times combo and then heavy attack. There we go. Look at that, you can sort of see it. Throws these little axes, and any attack you do in the air is going to throw them, or slide attacks will throw them forward as well. So very easy to proc, very easy to get them going. They have a tiny bit of AoE. The AoE explosion is much smaller than it actually looks. It's quite deceptive in that, because it looks like it's fairly large, but it really isn't, to be totally honest. Now back to the weapon. So this, I've got 11th Storm. I don't have the other. I don't remember what the name of it was, but I had the other stance, but I gave it to one of my friends like 2 years ago, and I just haven't gotten another one to replace it. I don't even remember what the other one did, but I know that I like 11th Storm a lot. It's a great stance. Tennokai, because it's nice, then we don't have to lose our heavy, or not our heavy, our combo when we want to activate our Incarnon form. Prime Reach, so more range, hit more enemies, get more damage out. Amalgam Organ Shatter, you can just go with a normal Organ Shatter instead. Weeping Wounds for status, Condition Overload, so we get plenty of base damage, because we will be applying lots of status procs on both the AoE attack as well as the direct hits. We have blast damage via Volcanic Edge and Vicious Frost, Blood Rush for more for crit chance, and Shocking Touch for electricity damage, so we can proc melee influence. Now, melee influence, like many melee builds, is what's going to really be carrying this weapon. So, what makes it better than it was before is all of the changes that happened with Jade Shadows. So before, armor was a big problem. It's not nearly as big of a problem now, though, so we don't need an armor strip. And on top of that, we have a useful status effect, Blast. Without Blast, this is very mediocre at best, right? So like, I'll show it without Blast first. So we'll take off this, and you could either go full electric or you could go like gas damage or something. I think electric's gonna be a much better option going full electric. So let's say we put on Gladiator Might and Shocking Touch. Where is it? Or Voltaic Strike, sorry. There we go. Full electricity damage build. Now, oh yeah, I forgot, just so you see, nothing on my Rhino is affecting our damage here. So, in case you're interested about that, I forgot. I can just take these off, and I've got no companion equipped. So. The first thing we're going to want to do, though, is obviously build up our combo. It's just really easy to just ensnare them in and whack them a few times, and then I can activate my Incarnon mode. They're all going to die because they're grouped in electric, exists. It's an AoE thing. Now, here we go. What we want is for the aerial attacks to do big PP damage, because that is what makes this weapon unique. You can see that it's not the worst. This is like a solid freaking 50 times more damage than it was doing before, because it was so bad before. The damage isn't that high, so what we need is to have a lot of status effects proccing everywhere. Now, it couldn't do that before because the armor was too high, so it couldn't do damage if we weren't armor stripping. And like just, now, this still isn't nearly as good as we would like, pure electric. And you could go gas damage, but gas damage it doesn't have high enough base damage to really matter, so it's going to get to 10 gas procs quick, and they're not going to be big, chunky gas procs. So I don't think that's a real option. You don't get enough AoE spread out damage if you go for like just pure heat or anything. Plus, then you can't get melee influence going unless you're doing some weird stuff like Volt or Valence Fusion on Lavos. But now we have blast damage. And blast damage, I just had an insane voice crack right there, is quite snazzy, as most of you know already, I'm quite sure. So we reset these enemies. Now we want to, yet again, build up our combo. That's not what I meant to do, son of a son. There we go. Whack them a few times. Get our combo going. No! Accident. Son of a son. I accidentally waited until after my Tennokai went away. That's unfortunate. Well, let's try that again. Build up our combo. Don't be like me. Just, be good at the game, unlike me. Here we go. Now, we can make the enemies die. Watch. The extra AoE and damage from the blast actually helps a lot. Hang on, I'm actually botching my air attacks and combos. Look at this. Do you see that? Especially like that guy in the middle. It is much better damage than before. Significantly better. Having the blast plus electric spread across all of the enemies. Now, you're going to be much better off going with the Hate Incarnon, honestly. But I know not everyone likes Hate Incarnon. Sometimes you want to use the melee you want. Maybe you just really love Sword and Shields. Maybe you love the power fantasy of having a shield and an axe and you throwing spectral axes. I know I find the power fantasy of that to be really badass. And Blast. Okay, here's something that not many people, or at least, not many people, some people don't seem to realize with Blast as to why it's so strong. It's that it isn't viral or corrosive or anything else. That's honestly one of the best parts about it. and that means you can get viral. Like there'll be dude, I'm stuttering so bad right now. There'll be people leaving comments saying, "Oh, Blast isn't that great, right? You'd be better off just going with like viral or armor stripping them or something, right? With corrosive or something." Well, you can still do those by outsourcing them. Armor strip and viral are extremely easy to get somewhere else in your build. You can't get blast from another source in your build with the exception of Lavos and Valence Fusion. So being able to have blast for big PP damage and AoE, which then, scales insanely hard when enemies are grouped together, and have the option of armor strip and blast on top of that, or sorry, armor strip and viral on top of that, it's pretty insane. So let's say we added in like Panzerwolfeile, and then we armor strip them. Here is the Hildren. We're not even going to full armor strip them, right? 284. So this is only a 71% armor strip. Actually, you know what? Hell, we can even make it less than that. Take off transient fortitude, 57, barely over 50% armor strip now. I'm going to have to build up my combo again, of course, but you're going to see that just doing this is going to make such a massive difference in our damage. There we go. Come back over here. Reset these enemies. Now we need our Panzerwolfeile to whack them. We'll do one thing of armor strip. Where is the enemy that's tagged with viral so I can start spreading it? There they are. Look at that. That's pretty great, I'd say. Now, I'm sure you've probably noticed that there is a very, very big issue with this weapon, and that is the attack speed. So if you can find a way to slot in an attack speed mod, that would actually be pretty snazzy. I suppose you could replace Primed Reach. A really good Warframe to pair with this would be Volts, or, well, I guess anybody that gives attack speed. If you don't want to use Volts, other options would be like Valkyr with Warcry. It's her helmet. You can put Warcry on anybody, or Wisp, because let's be honest, 50% of all the match-made activities you do are going to have a Wisp with her haste mode. So here's what we've got going on here. Wait, I want one without corrosive projection. Here we go. We're just gonna slap down our haste mode and see what sort of difference it makes in our attack speed. Now look at this. I'd say that's much better. I'm not actually throwing the spectral axes because I'm not in Incarnon form, so let's change that real quick. There. You can see it's already significantly better than before. Now, I'm not quite sure how I was doing it, but beforehand, there was a way to like really spam the crap out of the axes in the air. If you know how to just like throw 10 billion axes without needing a million attack speed in the air, please let me know. There, it was pretty fast right there. I'm really not sure how I was doing it before. I mean, I can't show you how I was doing it before because unfortunately I haven't recorded. Maybe the game was just bugging out or something. But before Jade Shadow was like this, actually this was freaking before Dante and Bound even. I was able to spam the crap out of the axes for whatever reason. Anyways, I think you get the gist of it. You can actually make these axes do damage now, which really wasn't practically viable beforehand, before the Jade Shadows update. So that's pretty cool. Again, you can just use this as a sword and shield, but at that point, why not just use a different weapon? Like, there's better options, much better options. I actually suppose I didn't show it with just slide attacking, because I always forget that you can also slide attack to throw the spectral axes. So let's do that. Let's go. There we go, there we go. Come on, Pansy. Pansy Wansy. Oh yeah, I forgot. The explosion can stagger you, just like it used to be able to do with the Hate Incarnon, which is very unfortunate. Not hard to fix if you have knockdown resist, but it can be a bit of an annoyance. Once there's less enemies to spread all the status effects to and shit from AoE influence, it doesn't do as well, but in mission, you're not really going to have an issue with this thing. Not like you would before. That's pretty much it for the Akin Brunted Carnon. I think it's definitely better than it was before, and I might actually start using it now. Another Sword and Shield I'll be reviewing here pretty soon is Tenet Agendas. I just need to get a different progenitor elements, and then I'm gonna make it pretty freaking snazzy. But yeah, that's it. If you liked the video, then leave a like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Adios.